Good morning, everyone. We are going to get started in just a second. We'll let everybody get logged in and settled. My name is Leah Adrian, and I'll be hosting it today. And Martin Sterrett's on here, and he'll be the one giving the presentation with all of the information. But thank you all so much for joining. We are hosting this series this month with the National Electrical Code changes that were just adopted. But we have two more sessions. We have one on Friday, and then the following Friday we have one. So we welcome you to join those as well. And we also have two series, the DSD Info series that we host monthly, and it's for anybody in Austin that wants to know about various topics. The one in June is going to be over recording, so that should be interesting. And then we have the also the Land Development Academy, which is geared more towards um, I'll say the development community. So those of you who are a little more familiar with Austin's development as opposed to just general information. So again, we are letting everybody get logged in, but I can go ahead and talk about the format for today. My name is Leah Adrian. Again, I'm with the shareholder or the stakeholder and community engagement group. Um, we are going to have a presentation given by Marty Sterrett, and then throughout that presentation, if you have questions and you want to go ahead and write those down, you can use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, or at the end, if we have time, we'll do a Q&A session. So if you want to ask those in person, then we have that ability as well. But with that said, I'll go ahead and get started and hand it over to Marty.
All right, thank you, Leah. Just a few things. If it's your first time here, first of all, good morning. My name is Marty Sterrett. I'm Division Manager, Commercial Building Inspections. Uh, I will try to capture as many changes as I can, but I might miss a few. I will not be covering any Media Vultures article or some of the subtle changes. You will not receive any continuing education credits. This presentation is only informational. And like Leo said, hopefully there'll be time at the end for questions or comments. And those of you who've been through some of the previous sessions, thank you. If it's your first time, welcome. Next slide. All right, so today we're going to get into chapter 5, that's specific occupancies and locations. We'll start out with Article 500. That's hazardous classified locations, classes 1, 2, and 3, divisions 1 and 2. Next slide. So at Article 505D, 1A and B, classification of locations, Class 3, Division 1. The revision improves clarity and enforcement by separating the treatment of combustible non-metal and metal fiber and flyings. Next slide. Article 500.8G, equipment involving optical radiation. The revision that recognizes that optical energy can pose ignition risks comparable to electrical arcs and sparks. Next slide. Article 500.30, bonding and hazardous classified locations. The bonding requirements of hazardous locations found in Articles 501, 502, and 503 were moved to Article 500.30. So this will be your bonding requirements will all be housed now in 500.30. Next slide. All right, we'll look at Article 501, Class 1 locations. So 501.10A1, wiring methods in Class 1, Division 1. This revision offers more structured approach to complex installation involving flexible cable systems by including fittings listed to UL 2225 and highlighting method-specific requirements in a clear table format. This will be your flexible cable systems. Next slide. 501.15A4, This is sealing and draining conduit seals in Class 1 Division 1 in your Class 1 Division 1 boundary. The revision clarifies sealing requirements where a Class 1 Division 1 is next to an unclassified area. Where the seal is not located in the Division 1 side of the boundary, the Division 1 wiring method shall extend to the seal. Next slide. 501.130C. This talks about luminaire retrofit kits. The revision adds requirements for luminaire retrofit kits in hazardous locations. Next slide. Okay, Article 511. This will be your commercial garages, repair, and storage. Next slide. 511.5C, Area Classification General for repair garages, major and minor. The revision clarifies how to separate hazardous and unclassified spaces in garage repair shops with the adoption of the term unpierced wall, roof, or solid partition. Next slide. Article 511.10B. This is special equipment, electrical vehicle power transfer systems. This revision clarifies that these system installations in a potentially hazard location. Next slide. Article 512, cannabis oil equipment and cannabis oil systems using flammable materials. Next slide. So in Article 512.6, prohibited locations, a new article adding locations where cannabis extraction equipment is prohibited. Next slide. Article 513, aircraft hangars. Next slide. In 513.8, underground wiring, the revision removes the prescriptive Class 1 Division 1 requirement for all underground installations and will now align with realistic hazard assessments. Next slide. Article 514, motor fuel dispensing facilities. In Article 514.11A, your circuit disconnects, emergency electrical disconnects. The revision aligns with NFPA 30A and clarifies placement and coverage of emergency electrical disconnects. Additional shutoffs or disconnects can be installed closer than 20 feet or greater than 100 feet if there is at least one that meets the primary 20 to 100 foot requirement. Next slide. In 514.13, provisions for maintenance services of dispensing equipment. The revision clarifying that the grounding conductor, which is sometimes the neutral, must be disconnected during maintenance and servicing of the dispensing equipment. Next slide. Okay, this is Article 517, our healthcare facilities. So in Article 514.4, electric service, the new article enables microgrids to act as a source on either side of the transfer switch. Next slide. In 517.7, patient care space risk categories, a new article requiring all new or altered activities, systems, or equipment must be installed to meet the patient care space risk categories 1 through 4 of NFPA 99. Next slide. 517.10B, applicability not covered. The revision to clarify when Part 2 of Article 517 is not applicable. Next slide. Article 517.13A, equipment grounding conductor receptacles and fixed electrical equipment in patient care space. This will be your wiring methods. The revision specifies that metallic boxes, device boxes, junction boxes, fittings, and other wiring closures are required for patient care space branch circuits. So this will be you'll be looking for metal boxes in these patient care spaces. Next slide. Multi-wire branch circuit 517.15. The new article that states that multi-wire branch circuits serving life safety lighting and power are not permitted. Although this section was previously enforced by reference to Article 700.19, that would be your in your emergency systems article, it is now directly stated in Article 517. There has been, I will say, while we're here, uh, a lot of the changes in 517 that formally referenced the Article 700 emergency systems now are gone away. It'll the essential systems will not be referenced in the Article 700 emergency systems any longer. Next slide. In 517.20A, web procedure locations, receptacles, and fixed equipment. The new article added requirements for GFCI protection used in operating room when you're in this wet procedure location area. Next slide. 517.26 application of other articles. As I stated previously, this revision removes all references to Article 700 and clarifies that Article 700 does not apply to essential electrical systems. So now it will not be, you'll have to go back, you'll have to go over to Article 700. Everything will be contained in Article 517 for essential electrical systems. Next slide. 517.28 signs. A new article to establish mandatory requirements for service, equipment, and grounding signs. Next slide. 517.30A, source of power, independent power sources. The revision clarifies that both on-site and off-site power sources are required to be designed for efficient reliability to ensure effective operation and alignment with the facility's emergency response plan. Next slide. 517.30E, temporary source connections, single on-site power source. This was also covered in Article 700, but because they're separating the two now, they've added this one. It requires the essential electrical system's on-site power source to have a permanent switching means to connect a portable or temporary power source. Next slide. 517.41 required power sources. The revision clarifying that power sources can be either on-site or off-site. They must be designed to ensure effective reliability in line with the facility's response plan. Next slide. 517.42 essential electrical systems. A revision in the parent text removes references to nursing homes and limited care facilities. Next slide. 517.42F, essential electrical system coordination. A new subdivision F was added to require overcurrent protection device serving the essential electrical system to be coordinated for fault durations exceeding 0.1 second. Next slide. 51770, diagnostic imaging and treatment equipment applicability. The revision adds language to indicate that diagnostic imaging and treatment equipment must comply with Part 5 of the article. I like this change. It kind of clears things up on these types of installations. It keeps you from going to the X-ray article, which is mainly for industrial. So this will help clarify some of the healthcare requirements for these types of equipment. Next slide. Okay, Article 525, carnivals, circus, fairs, and similar events. The entire article has been significantly reorganized to modernize and clarify the requirements for temporary power systems in entertainment settings. The changes will make it easier to navigate, implement, and enforce. Next slide. 52511 generators. The revision will enhance safety, consistency, enforcement of portable power systems. The grounding requirements will be per Article 250.34. That's your grounding and bonding article. And the overcurrent protection will be per Article 445.20. That'll be your generator article. Next slide. Article 525.21, disconnecting means. The revision separates the disconnecting mean requirements for moving rides or attractions from those for non-moving rides or attractions. Next slide. 525.22, portable wiring inside tents and concessions. The requirements for portable wiring inside tents and concession stands have been moved from Article 525.21 to this new Article 525.22. Another subtle change. Next slide. In 525.25 lighting, the requirements for lighting lamp protection have been moved from 525.21B. Another subtle move. Next slide. Article 525.31, equipment grounding. The new exception to clarify that the bonding requirements in the article do not apply when the portable generator is used in accordance with 445.20A, your generator. That's in your generator article. Next slide. Article 545, manufactured buildings and relocatable structures. So Article 545.22D, power supply grounding. The revision clarifying that the grounding electrode systems are not required for grounding relocatable structures. Next slide. 514.26, bonding of exposed non-current carrying metal parts. Give me just a minute here. I think this is supposed to be 545.26. Caught one of my own mistakes. It's be 545.26. Bonding of exposed non-current carrying metal parts. The revision clearly defines bonding requirements for relocatable structures. The requirement aligns with bonding practices used in manufactured housing. Next slide. Article 547, agricultural buildings. So Article 547.44C, equipotential planes and bonding of equipotential planes, equipotential plane construction. The new article establishes a clear and enforceable standard for construction equipotential planes and agriculture environments. Definitely clarifies it a lot more than it used to be. Article 550, mobile homes, manufactured homes, and mobile home parks. Before I start this section, I also want to, oh, well, never mind. Go ahead, Leah. You change it. Yeah, it's more organized, accurate, user friendly. This is what I was wanting to highlight, that calculations that were previously found in this article have been moved to Article 120, and system types have been clearly divided. Next slide. Article 550.13b, receptacle outlets ground fault circuit interrupter. The revision will now reference the requirement in 210.8 for GFCI protection. That's one thing you'll notice, that previously in other code editions, all the ground fault requirements for mobile homes and manufactured homes were found in this article, but now they reference you back to Article 210.8. So it's kind of get rid of some of the redundant stuff that we previously had. Next slide. Article 550.51a, service equipment for mobile home service equipment. The revision required the same standards for both mobile homes and manufactured homes. Previous code editions, there was two different requirements, for one for mobile home and one for manufactured homes. The new revision makes them both the same. Next slide. 550.51e, service equipment additional receptacles. The new article requiring a surge protection device in compliance with 230.67 when the existing service equipment is reconnected to a replacement mobile home or manufactured home. We've here in Austin, we've been enforcing this, but I feel that the language in previous code editions, there could have been a little discussion about it, but now it clearly says that whenever you're replacing a mobile home with an existing service, that you're going to have to provide the surge protection device per 230.67. Next slide. Article 551, recreational vehicles, recreational vehicle parks. So Article 551.71, type receptacles required in RV sites. The new revision clarifies receptacle type obligations and aligns enforcement with current installation practices. Next slide. So also in RV, I want to add to that, in the RV article, all the calculations requirements for our RV parks has also been moved to Article 120. So Article 120 now covers all your branch circuit service and feeder load calculations now. The mobile homes and RVs are no longer by themselves. They're all contained in Article 120 now. Okay, Article 555, marinas, boatyards, floating buildings, and docking facilities. A lot of changes in this article. So Article 555.5, AC only maximum voltage. The revision increases the permissible pier distribution voltage to 600 volts phase to phase. Next slide. So 555.9, engineer design. The new article allows the AHJ, the authority having jurisdiction, to require a professionally engineered electrical design for pier distribution systems. Article 555.13, bonding of non-current carrying metal parts. The revision clarifying that only metal parts likely to become energized must be connected to the circuit equipment grounding conductor with a bonding conductor no larger than 8 gauge copper, likely to become energized. Next slide. 555.14, equipotential planes and bonding of equipotential planes. The revised article updates and standardizes equipotential plane requirements in these areas. Next slide. 555.15 replacement of equipment. The revision provides a clear separation between servicing and replacing. Next slide. 555.35 GFPE, ground fault protection of equipment, and GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter protection. The revision added piers to cover installations where a marina docking facility might have extensions for permanent or floating platforms or stagings that are not covered in Article 682. Next slide. 555.35A, GFPE and GFCI protections, feeders, and branch circuits. The revision requires 100 milliamp or less GFPE protection for both branch circuits and feeders supplying docking facilities and piers. So that threshold is increased. Article 555.35B, GFPE and GFCI protection fire pump circuits. A new article requiring an alarm to monitor the GFPE protection of the fire pump circuit in lieu of an overcurrent device, which could compromise the operation of the fire pump. So these will be fire pumps that are installed in marinas, etc. They want the alarm to monitor the protection and not kick the overcurrent device out. Next slide. 555.35F, GFPE and GFCI protection, coordination and performance testing. So a new article that requires GFPE protection to be coordinated and performance tests. This is similar to what we have already in the service article, in the feeder article. They want that uh, ground fault protection of equipment to be performance tested. Next slide. Oh, wow. Ran through it pretty fast today.
Sorry, I'm getting myself back. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You went by faster than anticipated.
Yeah.
So that said, we have plenty of time for Q&A. I see that there was a comment made, especially when we were talking about the carnivals and that thing, that there would be it would be a significant change for ACL. I'm not sure exactly which part it was.
I know exactly what Mr. Stuckey's talking about, and I thought the same thing when I saw it too.
Yeah, it's that's when you all were or when you were going over this, it's like the things that people not in the industry don't think about. So
Yeah,
there you
it's
go.
yes.
Um, we have plenty of time. If you want to type in any questions, go ahead, or you can raise your hand if you have any questions also. We'll give it just, we've got plenty of time. I'm gonna go ahead and go here just to let you all know we have two other classes. So if you have not signed up for those, go ahead and you can use that QR code to access them. And also just let you know that we are recording this and we will have these videos uploaded to our public meetings page. So if you want to tell a colleague about this and have them view the video, or if you want to refer back to it later, especially once these start to go into effect, which is what, in September, Marty? Is that when they go?
Yes, the city of Austin, along with the state of Texas, we have adopted the code, and it'll go in first September 1st of 2026.
So there's time if you want to watch this ahead, but I don't see anybody have you guys want to raise your hand? Otherwise, we might be we might be done for the day.
That's good. Happy Monday to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us. And if you have any questions, just let us know, and we will
Well,
hopefully see you in the
wait.
next one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Thank you all.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.